quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question. Just continue to stay consistent and focus on improvement.
All right. What's up, everybody? It is Monday night, an hour later, but we're here. It is Everything Titans, the NGSC Sports Weekly Tennessee Titans show, recap show, look ahead show, as we take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly in the Titans' big win over the Bengals this past weekend, yesterday. We talked about it last week first and foremost, I'm sorry, people. Remember the website. It is NGSCsports.com, where you catch all of your current content. Of course, we had guys, including myself, in press boxes across the country. So we've got a lot of content up from the games. I had the pleasure, of course, of sitting at the press box in the press box in Memphis, Tennessee, covering the Memphis Tigers' big 35-32 win over Boise. Long drive, though, for an old man. That's a long day for me. That's a hard day for me. 13 hours, that's a long day for me. Of course, there's so much more on NGSCsports.com, where we never stop. Remember us on Facebook at NGSC Sports, on Twitter at NGSC Sports, also on YouTube at NGSC Sports. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube, and like and everywhere else too, and follow everywhere else too. Okay. All that said, well, boys, we've been talking for a month now, and I think, in a way, when I started thinking about starting the show, I should mention the co-host here, of course, cousin Antoine. What's up, Twan?
What's up, Ralph?
And, brother Bradford. What's up, Joe?
What's up? I'm ready to get this little show on the road here. Feeling good about.
I started thinking about this. Right, I started thinking about this show and the way we would do the premise: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right, and in just a month, we've seen plenty of good, bad, and ugly from the Titans. They've gone up and down for us. Tannehill has a good week, a bad week, a good week, a bad week, or in this case, a bad week, a good week, a bad week, and a good week. And the Bengals come in town, Zoe. Both of you were sitting there listening to the crowd, watching them build up. But, didn't expect it to get off the way it got off, and it got loud early, it got loud often, and I'm pretty surprised. Pretty good win, bro.
Yeah. Completely unexpected. I came into that game kind of expecting the worst, preparing myself mentally for the worst, knowing that I was going to see it in person, feeling like, really, really hate the Bengals. And then you get there, you can see all these Bengals fans all over the place. And they were loud in there early on, but it's kind of like the rest of everybody kind of felt the same way I felt. They had some pent up stuff and animosity towards the Bengals, and it came out in that game. The fans helped. There was definitely a 12th man on the field on defense in this game for the Titans. So that it really made a difference. Completely shocked, completely surprised.
So what about you, cousin Twan? I mean, damn, man. We expected a better performance. You wonder what Burrow was going to do. I'm talking about, was the Cincinnati defense going to, give us problems? And The only one who had a problem was Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I was shocked. I mean, just how the game went out. I was surprised. No, not that the Titans won, but how we did it, right? And like in just all phases of the game. I mean, from special teams, defense, obviously, offense, coaching. Yeah, it was just it was the total opposite of last week.
Yeah, going on. I'm gonna stay with you, Twan, because I
All
know
right.
there's plenty to go around. So I figure we got plenty to share. But what was your good or your goods for the game?
Oh yeah, it's plenty. It's plenty. So I'm gonna start because I criticized coaching last week. So I'm gonna say the good. I love the game plan from offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. So with the offense, I love how both backs were involved. I love how the tight ends. I guess someone lit a fire up on them. They were blocking this week. I love the spread formations. Just and then the beautiful play design on the flea flicker again. Unfortunately, we didn't connect, but I mean, Tim Kelly's showing that, hey, already week 3, we've already seen more than I believe we saw the previous coordinator. And then on defense, you know, we played to the strength. I mean, the game plan going in. Burrow was an immobile quarterback, and you could see the defense rushing up the middle. You can see them ignoring the outside containment because Burrow wasn't going to beat them running to the outside. Just wasn't going to happen. Not with his calf injury. So I like to see that we were finally exploiting a weakness of the other team. Today showed that they could stop it.
Yeah, I thought the
Joe,
same thing. It was.
what
I
you
thought
know?
it was.
What you
I
know
thought it was a
good?
good game plan. I'm not. At first, I was going to touch on him. I thought it was a good game plan. Just like you said, I thought that's blitzing up the middle, with Aziz Ashir. I always have a hard time pronouncing his name, Aziz Al-Shir. And so,
He was a
I think
star.
he was a star. They sent him up the middle, but for the blitzes like 6 times. So that was definitely a nice game plan. And one thing I was going to go on to good, I was going to talk about the middle inside, the inside linebacker play. Since he kind of took that, the defensive game plan, I felt like they had a big role they played in it, especially as Alshir. They sent him, like I said, they sent him on 6 blitzes in the game. And where's my stats at? They reset right before we started this match, right before we start this conversation. Really threw me off. All right, here we go.
I mean,
per PFF, he was like, he blitzed 6 times. He allowed like 2 catches for about 11 yards. Between him and Gibbons, they combined for 19 tackles, 9 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 3 pass deflections, 2 QB hits. I mean, they were busy out there. And then, you mix that in with the 6 blitzes, and we're not known for being a blitzing team. It was as if they, to Antoine's point, we're gonna bring the house. We're gonna bring the house. You got an immobile quarterback, so we're gonna bring it up the middle, and we're gonna bring multiple. We just ain't gonna bring one. You think we're not gonna? We think we're just gonna sit back. So I thought they played really well. You see, you saw there was one play where I saw Gibbons. He had to drop back in coverage, and who was it? He was guarding somebody. He made his man kind of drop the ball, whatever. It was a receiver that he was running with, though. It was here you go. Big play on 3rd down inside of 2 minutes. This is in the 2nd quarter. Jack Gibbons runs. He's running with Boyd. Boyd's a receiver. He's running down the field with Boyd, and he's like right there. He effected the catch. Like Boyd probably could have made the catch Maybe a little bit of maybe a light pass interference. Maybe they got their legs tangled up because they both kind of fell, but he was right there with him step for step. That's one thing they talked about Gibbons. He's smart, he's instinctive, but he don't have the athletic prowess to be out there making plays, running with a wide receiver. He's got more. At least he got some straight line speed, and if he's smart enough to see where the run play is going to go to, or where how the receiver is going to come in across his zone when he's has to drop back in coverage. That as long as he can make plays, then I think he's good. He's showing up good. He's been showing up good all year long. Both of them. There was one question mark we had coming into the season was can this linebacker core, especially this inside linebacker core, that was the part we was worried about. We weren't worried about our pass rushers on the outside. We was worried about the middle behind Big Jeff and behind Tyjae Tart. And so I thought they did a real good job. I think they played those. That was the inside linebacker play.
My good went along those lines with the whole defense because 14 first downs, they gave up 211 total yards. And when the Titans the Bengals scored that first field goal, right? So it was like, okay, it's a field goal. But there's more to come. So you ain't worried about that because Cincinnati, and you're not going to hold them to 3 points.
Right. And the fans were chirping after that first goal.
Right. And then the Titans come with this scoring barrage. But all along, I'm thinking to myself, okay, 10, 14, 17, but the Bengals, I don't know how, they're not just going to hold them to 3 points. The defense is eventually going to, how defenses bend a little bit. Once they got a lead, they soften up a little bit. And you knew the Bengals were going to keep coming at them. The Bengals were going to keep coming at them. And they held Joe Burrow to 165 yards passing. And no matter what Cincinnati tried offensively, and man, they tried. It wasn't for lack of trying for Cincinnati because they tried to move the football, but they couldn't. The defense was really strong. That was really good to see that because, we could talk and we'll touch on the offensive side of the ball, obviously, and the argument about Tannehill and Derrick Henry's game. We'll definitely touch on that because that's part of the good of what happened here. But you expect certain things when those pieces of the offense are clicking. But when this team is good, it's because the defense is so good.
Oh yeah.
That's what makes the difference here in Tennessee is when the defense is on, they basically just open the door telling the offense, okay, so you're already, hey, y'all need to take it from here because we got this part. So it was good to see that. It was a good defensive effort to see that. Jamar Chase had a couple of catches, looked like he was about to, do something. Like you wait, like, oh, this boy playing. They finna hit him for a big one with Jamar. Hold him down. Held him down.
Now yeah. I propose that since we've had such bad weeks with the Titans this year, that we've been able to pile on a lot of bad and ugly, I propose we go another round of good. Let's do it. Let's talk about what's going on.
That's what I said. On offense. There's more good to go on. It's good on both sides.
There was more good. Let's enjoy it for a moment. All
right. Receivers. Like I said, everybody contributed. Hopkins, he had maybe 3, if not 4. Was all of his catches first downs? But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Hopkins, clutch reception. NWI, either love him or hate him. Hey, he was where he needed to be, and he caught the ball when it was thrown this direction. Chris Moore, another big reception. I think it was 33 yards this time, but hey, the receivers, hey, pass catchers, Josh Wiley, 2 receptions and touchdown. The pass catchers showed up today. They did their jobs.
Yep.
Yeah, I was sitting here searching. He asked a good question there. I was thinking I can find it real quick in his little stat sheet they got right here for
Oh,
you.
well, how many of the catches? Yeah,
Yeah, if
I
they
want
were
to say at
first
least
downs or
3,
not.
maybe. Yeah, he
I
just
think just about every one of them. I feel like all 5 were.
4 catches, 73 yards. No, 63 yards. What? How? Yeah, let's pull up some stats.
His stats were Hopkins had 4 catches, 63 yards. And if he had that big bomb, that pass was caught, you know what I'm saying, or a better throw, you know, that could have been a big play for him. And he was, you know, you saw it on his face when he fell and hit the ground. Like I watched the replay last night because you know you watch it at the game and you kind of see his body language, but you can't see his face. And he just kind of sat there for a second, like knowing he just missed that one, you know. So another good for me was there was a stretch of offense in this game. In the second quarter, the Titans scored, 3 times in 6 minutes or something like that. It was
Yeah, because they scored, and I figured, okay, Cincinnati's going to hold the ball a little bit. I can go to the bathroom. I can get some water. Man, I got up. I left. Right. And I'm just sitting there watching on the Jumbotron because I'm in the bed, you know, I'm by the restroom area and the refreshments. It was, they put on that scoring barrage.
So here's those drives. Those drives were 5 plays, 78 yards, touchdown. 4 plays, 73 yards, touchdown. 7 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. I mean, when have you seen that coming out of the Titans offense? Really, you know, since really Arthur Smith was here. I mean, there were times where we could put up points in a quick hurry. But like that, no, you don't typically see that. And you wasn't expecting to see that coming out of what you've seen out of offense this year, what you've seen out of the offensive line, what you've seen out of Ryan Tannehill. I mean, we had 6 plays over 20 yards, the Titans did on offense, compared to 0. Another shout out to the defense, compared to 0 plays over 20 yards for the Bengals. In fact, I believe their longest play of the game was like 17 yards. I think they had a couple of 17-yard plays. And man, and coming into this game, you know, automatically you're thinking that's going to be the opposite way around. I mean, that's why I was preparing myself for mentally. I mean, this time as we went to the game, we managed to get there early enough. We went to go tailgate.
Yeah,
got a chance to get some food in us, have a couple of drinks.
For the Bengals fan, by the way.
Huh?
I said we tailgated.
Yeah, that the Bengals fan. Yeah, he lives here, he's from here, but he's a Bengals fan. It is what it is. I didn't know that till I got down there. But you know, the Bengals fan fed me, and then I said goodbye to all the little kitty cat fans by the time they walked out of the stadium, because they came in at like some Bengal tires, but by the time they left, it was just purring and meows. It just was. It was done. It was over.
Yeah, and that defense, like you said, I don't know if you realize that the Bengals didn't. They didn't convert a third down into that fourth quarter.
That fourth quarter.
I think that was their first third down conversion. It was like midway through the fourth. And you could see the fans leaving. They were exiting. I mean, they everybody knew it was over. It was over.
Back to that second quarter. That second quarter when the game turned right there. And by the end of that 3 touchdown run, you kind of had a feeling, in a sense, from the Titans standpoint, like we can't allow ourselves to get complacent. We got to keep our foot on their throat, keep going after them, but you kind of feel it. The Bengals fan felt like it was over. It was like all the energy they had in the first quarter, it was like sapped out of them.
There's no energy at the half. Like none of them was talking.
I wasn't
shell shocked.
I wasn't none of that. I was waiting for shit to pop off for Cincinnati just in case. Although now my other good was the running game. Now 173 yards. You like a 200-yard team effort all the time. 173 yards, 122 from Derrick Henry. I don't know, guys. You guys know better than me. His best game since the best game that he's looked himself as himself since since before his surgery. You see him on that. You see him on that 29-yard run. Think about it. You see him on that 29-yard run. The way he was able to use not only his speed but his power. How he worked, but he made it look easy. The work that had
no doubt.
You know, when he was hitting the holes and he was hitting the edge and turning the yards, it was the first time I've seen him like this since before the surgery.
I tapped Zoe.
I didn't think about that. I thought about the fact that I thought he was just highly motivated because every time he played the Bengals, it's been,
right.
I ain't gonna say goose eggs, but it ain't been Derrick Henry.
No, right. But it was noticeable because I tapped Zoe. I said, "Man, he's running with a purpose. He's running with a purpose today.
He's running with a purpose." And the other one is Tyjae Spears, man. I want to see him. Nice. I want to see him get the ball. He got 5 carries, man.
40 yards.
I want to see the boy. I want to see him get the ball 10 times. I want to see what he could do with the ball 10 times in the backfield. Because when he touches the ball, it's like even he can make an 8-yard. He make an 8-yard run look like an 80-yard run until you stop him 72 yards short of the end zone for an 8-yard run. I'm talking about, he looked like he ready to go.
He does.
Ready to go. And
even when there ain't nothing there, don't look like nothing there. He gets somehow 5 yards. What?
That play when the pitch play, and he dropped the ball. He kind of juggled it a little bit. And hit the ground. I mean, it hit the ground. A lot of players were just dove on that ball. That hit the ground and saw.
A lot of young players would have done that.
Man,
and
he picked up like 20 yards, 26.
Yep.
And my ass in the bathroom, so all I hear is cheering and shit.
He got 22 yards on that one. Yeah, he just picked it up on the bounce. Never thought about it. Took off.
22. Yeah.
So that a lot of good to go around there. I mean, it was nice to see 4 different receivers with at least 3 receptions. I think 7 with at least 2. So, nice distribution of the ball there. You want to see Hopkins get a big game, but at the same time, it's like look who didn't play, by the way. But NWI, man. NWI was the other one, man. 5 catches, 51 yards, a touchdown. He had a couple of nice grabs.
You got to give NWI his roses. At least I got to give him his roses because I'm not really a big NWI fan.
Same here.
But he's dependable. He goes out there, he does his job. He doesn't get great separation, but seems to be getting better separation than he's usually getting, and he makes the catch. He doesn't like Vrabel called out Burks earlier. It was like earlier in the week, it was like, hey, they asked him what it was like going into this game without Treylon Burks, and then he's like, well, these guys have been here. These NWI, he makes good catches. He's dependable. Chris Moore, he's a smart guy. He's dependable. He's a professional receiver. They making great catches, great plays for us. You know what I'm saying? And he's flat out said, Treylon he's had a couple drops, and he's kind of moved on from there. It was like a real subtle shot, nonchalant, like it is what it is. But they thank you, Keisha. We appreciate that. Steelers fan. I'm sorry about Kenny Pickett. I hope everything works out and things improve.
Oh, he hurt? Oh, yeah, so I didn't even know he was hurt.
Kenny Pickett got dinged up. Tomlinson, Mike Tomlin was a little bit perturbed in the press conference, but he said, and only the way that he can, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna look into it. We're gonna figure it out. But back to the Titans, because this is everything Titans. So let me get off of that. We talk about Dillard and how bad he's been, And he was bad this game, but he had some plays. He had some plays where he made some good blocks. He stood his ground. He wasn't.
We on the bad. We on the bad.
No. I was trying to give Dillard a little bit of shot real quick.
But what was he bad though?
On that touchdown play when he came around on that touchdown run, when Henry came around, Dillard came and set that second level block. He got a first level block. Him and Radens was double teaming the guy. Then he let go of the double team, moved on to the next level, and made that seal for Derrick Henry to get that bounce. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had that window to go out and bust out to the sideline to get that touchdown run. That was Dillard.
Right.
It was. He made. I just want to give him a little shout out for that play.
I don't think he was good. I don't think he was bad though at all.
Wiley made some winning plays.
Yeah. Okay.
Compared to how bad he did.
He still technically gave up 2 seconds. He's still credit.
No, he wasn't perfect. Yes, he gave up a couple pressures or sacks or whatever, but
he's still on pace for a record in sacks.
But also, at least one of them, I felt like Tanny could have threw the ball away.
Yeah,
if not both, at least one of them for sure. But yeah, Dillard. Yeah, I didn't think he was bad. I wouldn't say he was bad. I mean, I wouldn't say he was good or great, but he was serviceable.
Yeah, I made a note of what you're talking about here. Dillard decent, slow off the ball. No. Here you go. Sack on third down where they sent somebody up the middle. I think it was the heel, and they said Henderson. Henderson kind of beat Dillard a little bit. Dillard got beat. It wasn't as egregious as I've seen him be when you go back and look at the replay. And Tannehill kind of maybe had a step up in the pocket, but that hasn't really been Tannehill's thing of actually stepping up in the pocket. So when they came kind of fast, and I think maybe there was something Tannehill could have did there. That was one we saw it from our end on the end zone. And from our end, it looks like Tannehill had room to step up. But when you look at it on the replay, it's a little bit closer than it looked when we was sitting in the stands.
I think this game is encouraging.
That was the sack to the led to the field goal. I wanted to get to that. We're going to get out to that to the bad, so we're gonna wait. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. No. That's all. It was just that. Yeah. From Dillard, I just thought what we saw of him. It's encouraging if he can stack on it, right? Like, yeah, moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. I got bad first. Here we go. Ryan Tannehill.
All right.
I mean, look. You look at the game, right? And
yeah,
we start on defense, and there's not a lot to say except, damn, y'all played defense. That was a stout defense against Cincinnati for the whole game, to the point where I felt watching it, like you guys were saying, people were feeling there. There came a point late in the third quarter where you were like, beginning of fourth quarter, where it's like, they just playing this now to finish the clock. That's it. I mean, this game is over. But Tannehill, even when the team is shining, I start to buy in more and more on this Tannehill going downhill. So think about it. It's not like he looked great. I mean,
no. He wasn't. Yeah.
Derrick Henry had the prettiest pass of the day.
He overthrew the flea flicker. Like I say, he took the 2 sacks when he probably could have got rid of the ball.
You got to put that flea flicker. You got to put, because when you seen it on TV, let me tell y'all, when you seen it on TV.
Oh yeah, what did it look like?
It looked like it was on the receiver. But when you look at it on the replay, you're like,
oh, okay.
Tannehill was supposed to put that shit in his hands. You know, and that's the easy ones. That's supposed to be the easy ones. So that
it's only because you went there with Tannehill and you brought up that particular pass play. And I actually said it to Antoine today. I wasn't going to bring it up on the show, but you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to bring it up on the show. You know, that type of pass that he needed to make for that needed to be more of a drop, more of a arch on it. It's not his really strong suit, if you know what I mean. You know who's strong suit? You know those are beautiful pass like that that's sitting on the bench. His backup. I feel like his backup that if he makes that read and gets that pass off, that pass itself, he could drop that right back there in the back of the end zone like that. He got nice arch on his ball, but I wasn't going to say that. So I ain't coming to knock on Tannehill and say we need to pull him, yank him for the backup today. But he has moments, and it's funny you made him your bad, Ralph. We're brothers. We hadn't had this conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
My bad was going to be Tannehill's first quarter.
Yeah, it was bad. And for me, it was the whole game, just the fact of never seeing him really get into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. It was mainly the running game playing so good, the defense holding the Bengals. So yeah, that was my bad. Tannehill, man. Antoine.
And why doesn't he step up into the pocket? Like,
it's not the same anymore. It comes a time where a guy starts to lose. Remember, we and all of us in Tennessee here, big Titan fans, remember Tannehill. When he came, I had questions, like everybody had questions. We couldn't find a quarterback to sustain here for 2 years. We were going through quarterbacks like a dollar store, man. It was ridiculous. And nobody felt any different when Ryan Tannehill got here from Miami. But look at what it's turned out to be. The most sustained quarterback we've had on the roster since McNair.
Yep.
So it's like it's you got to give the guy his credit right there, but and he earned that spot. But there comes a time where you start losing, what you were good at, or at least we get to see the flaws in you more because you're not that as good as you was. And I'm getting to starting to see that. And Tannehill, this could have been, because that second quarter, after that flurry right there, this could have been a 40-3 game, a 48-10 game. Mm-hmm. But if Tannehill could have gotten off, but he just couldn't.
So let me go ahead and go with my bad because it piggybacks right. Because you're talking about Tannehill, I just want to piggyback off your bad because that was my bad. The first quarter of Tannehill is actually a particular drive with Tannehill in which that play, the overthrow occurred. On that play, that was a 2nd and 2. That was 2nd and 2, flea flicker kind of type play, throwback type play. He overthrows D-Hop on that play. That play was drawn up perfectly. It was drawn up perfectly, and I saw him as he took that ramp up step to hum it because he's trying to put everything he got into the ball. Because to your point earlier, his arm ain't like it used to be. So he overthrew it trying to get all his power into it. I think Braden said something about it too, Antoine's son. So on the very next play after that, he overthrows Chris Moore. Chris Moore was coming over the middle, about 20 yards, 25 yards down the field. He was kind of coming across the field, getting ready to come out of the middle to the left, towards the left hash, and Tannehill threw it high and kind of behind him, and it easily could have been picked off because there was a defender back there. Defender couldn't get quite in position to make the play on the ball, but that would have been interception. And that drive would have been over. That was directly after overthrowing the ball, and then he makes the pass to Spears. I think that was the one where he kind of stepped up. Was that the play you was talking about, Antoine, the pass to Spears where
like I thought he was going to be sacked because he doesn't step up. Yeah. But he went off to the route to the side or whatever.
And the note I have on that play, Dillard was actually decent on that play. He was still a little bit slow off the ball. So past Spears first down, we get it. All right, Tannehill makes a 7-yard run, and then he gets sacked again. He gets sacked on third down. He gets sacked on third down, but the play we talked about earlier about Hill and Hendrickson, and then we end up kicking the field goal. And on the very next drive, I believe he completed a pass. And then it was a bad pass to Tyjae Spears. So that little segment of plays right there in the first quarter, and then when he very first got the ball back, the very next possession was all bad for Tannehill. It was not looking good, and that's when at that point, me and Antoine are talking about that's when we actually had the quick little elite conversation or future conversation. Like we looking at this like okay, we got defense doing their job, and this is what y'all here doing, and you're making these. You're a professional NFL quarterback. You can't be missing these wide open throws like this. You cannot be missing the wide open throws. It's just plain and simple. That's what you get paid for. You get paid. Your contract, I believe, we're paying you $32 million this year. You can't get 29 to 32, somewhere around there. You can't get paid that type of money and be a starting quarterback in this league, and you can't make these throws. And it's happening time and time again. Now we're in game 4. We're in week 4, and we're talking about at least 3 games where you've made these type of plays. You still, yes, did you have a decent game this week? Yes. You were 18 of 25 for 240 yards. You still was sacked 3 times. You threw a touchdown pass. You still threw an interception. You really slick, almost threw 2 interceptions.
And on that pick, was that ever? Because I didn't get to rewatch due to my schedule. I didn't get to rewatch. So what happened with that pick there? Because it looked horrible from our vantage point.
That pick, the one he threw that pick later in the game, didn't he? Hold on.
It was later in the game. It was later. Yeah. I remember he dropped back because I was like, man, you got to throw the ball, Tannehill, because he's about to take a sack. It seemed like he just threw it. It looked like, did he not see the defensive back? I don't know. It looked like he was throwing it to double coverage anyway. I don't know who. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking back on the replay of that. I don't think he saw the guy back there. I don't think he saw him.
It looked tough. Did it look bad on TV, Ralph?
Right. Yeah. Looked like you didn't see him.
Okay. But
so yes, did Tannehill turn it around after that? Yeah, I will say this for Tannehill. I'll give him a shout for this. He's shown resiliency. That's twice in our 2 wins. He's shown resiliency in the game. I looked at the sideline. It wasn't like it was in the win over the Chargers. It ain't like it was in the win over the Chargers where it looked like there was a potential for Malik to actually come in. It didn't look like that level of concern by the Titans, but that type of inconsistency, what I've been calling he's like a Jekyll and Hyde, Jekyll and Hill. Which one? Jekyll and Hyde? What you going to go be today? We don't know what we're going to get from Tannehill from game to game. And so that's 2 games at home. We've performed. Our offense performed. We get ready to go on the road. 2 games on the road. What does Tannehill look like? Okay, so we're going to find out. Antoine?
Angelo, what's your bad?
Yeah, my bad. I'll keep it simple, man. It just refs. I mean, I know it's a Tennessee thing, but I hate to harp on them. But that pass interference call on McCreary, I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Because it seemed like he was within the 5 yards, and then even if he wasn't, from where we were, his hand touched his back or side or whatever. The ball was already to the ground and past the receiver. It was just a horrible call. And then later in the game, it was the offensive pass interference on, was it NWI? I think it was NWI, right? Was he the receiver? on NWI. It was the offensive pass interference, and just replay after replay. You could clearly see that the defensive back got his leg. He slipped, got his feet tangled, and slipped. And when he rolled, NWI kind of went forward over him. But it was. I thought it should have been a no call. No call at best. At worst, it would have been defensive pass interference because the defensive back initiated the contact.
And the receiver fell. The receiver fell too.
So I'm gonna give a bad to the refs. And we had 5 penalties, and that was 2 of them. So we really should have only had 3 penalties, which is pretty much a clean enough game, considering we were 8+ penalties. We've seen in the past few weeks. So.
All right. Hey, Twan, I'm gonna stay with you.
Okay.
You gave a bad. Now give me an ugly.
Do I have an ugly? Not from the Titans. We were just not from the Titans. My ugly goes to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's my ugly. And making too much money to be playing like doo-doo. I mean, yeah, you got the calf injury. Be smart about it. You should have sat that ass down. Sat out a few weeks because right now, what are they? 1 and 3. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. You could have been that. That could have been that. That could have been that with you on the bench, and then now you coming back fully healed. That's why Joe Burrow's my ugly.
It's something because my ugly was the Bengals.
Right. I mean, there's no ugly from the Titans. I thought about it. I was like,
the Bengals was ugly. It was so bad. It was like I said, at some point in the third quarter, you could just feel it. Like, this is over. This game is over. We just don't play the clock out. And like the Bengals realized this was one of those days, man. We just should have never got up. They just got their asses whooped, man. So ugly.
We were going to go ahead.
I had to drive by some of their fans, because I'm going north, right? So I live in Springfield. There was a decked out Cincinnati bus, and I could see the lady driving, just a look on her face, and caught in traffic and shit. I was like, sucks to be them.
I was fucking with the Bengals fans on the way out the stadium too. Thank you for coming.
Oh yeah,
enjoyed our city. Bye bye, kitty cats. Y'all, we appreciate you. Meow.
You got ugly, bro.
Ugly though.
Y'all both went the same direction I was going to go with my ugly. So I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna see if I can do this right. But you know what was ugly? That Titans defense was ugly. I mean, it was ugly. It was like in your face, like that's it. Yeah, that's the ugly. And ugly in a very, very positive, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. That's how they was. My bad. Let me get out the screen. So
no. That was a good one. Because they was. I mean, they to the Bengals at least. That was the ugliest shit they had to look at the whole damn day was that Titan defense.
Like, listen to some of these numbers here. Listen to this Joe Burrow. He threw the ball 30 times, had 20 completions for 165 yards. That's it. His longest pass was 17 yards. You got
it was ugly. It was ugly.
Mixon had a decent rush per game, but with that flurry of points in the second quarter, it took Mixon completely out the game. That changed the game plan for the Bengals. They couldn't lean on Mixon, and he had 14 carries for 67 yards. That's 4.8 yards a carry. He was doing a little bit gashing early in the first quarter. And so I guess another ugly would be, it was actually fun though. How quiet that them Bengals fans got. They were loud. I don't know if you know this, Ralph. They were loud in our stadium
were loud.
Early in the first quarter. They were loud.
No, you can hear it.
It looked like they were about 50% of the people in the stands. I mean, it was a lot of them, way too much orange.
Believe me.
But the orange stood out too.
You could tell. You could tell that the cheers were coming at the wrong time. You were in Tennessee watching on TV. Or what? Right. Oh, they were loud. They were loud.
But when they came down, the Bengals came down the field. I think that was early in the game. That was when they got their field goal. We got down there, and it was so loud it came towards our end zone. So we're looking at it directly, and usually I'm the one trying to make sure we get hyped up and everything. And I was yelling at first, and then I stopped for a second just so I could hear how it sounded without me yelling, hearing myself yelling. It was reminiscent of the old Adelphia Coliseum days. That thing in that end zone, it was rocking. It was. They talked about it on the broadcast when I rewatched the game later on, but you could hear it in the stands. They were rocking, and it was loud. I was like, I'm just going to withhold my voice. I might save my voice for later in case they need me, because y'all got it right now. And it was like that every time they got into some big play situations. It was like that on the other end zone. You could hear them, and it was really, the fans really brought the energy, and it really made a 12th man on the field for the defense. But they had in that series where they forced them to call a timeout. You remember that it was so loud they had to call a timeout in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying?
On that drive you're talking about where the Bengals got the field goal. Remember how the drive started. It looked like, oh, okay, this is gonna be one of them days.
You're moving the ball, and here we go again.
I said, Joe feeling fine. In case y'all wondering, Joe feeling fine. And I was like, wait a minute, they moved. So the defense, when you look back, came up big early by making that stop, because that was a big third down stop right there, man, to force the field goal.
It was huge. And since we're talking about the defense, and since we harp on them, who we didn't talk about too much except for maybe a play early on. Who didn't get talked about? Christian Fulton. You didn't hear about Christian Fulton. You know why you didn't hear about Christian Fulton? Christian Fulton played a rather decent game out there. That's why we didn't really hear about Christian Fulton for a play early in the game. Christian Fulton he wasn't Christian Fulton. He was Christian Fulton. It wasn't Foolton like he's been playing. He was actually playing like his real last name. He's playing like a Fulton, not a Fulton.
If Fulton plays like this, like he's capable, Murphy Bunn's been balling, Roger McCreary's been balling, then when we got like a very, very nice cornerback room.
Yeah, especially if the defense can continue to keep the pressure, their front seven continue to keep the pressure like they've been doing. Don't give quarterbacks time. And I hope that Shane Bowen, I understand that this week may have been a situational type setup where he game playing against a quarterback who's a little bit hobbled, and let's go blitz him up the middle. It's not his custom way to send blitzes. He usually tries to win with 4, and sometimes it's frustrating. But if you're going to win with 4, why you got their cornerbacks 10 yards off the receivers all the time? If you're going to win with 4, if you got that many people back there in coverage, then you should press. You definitely should press more. Even if it's not man, just come up a little bit more. Catch them as they run through the zone. Something like this. Anyway, it was looking like that early in the game when Burrow and them were moving down the field before the defense tightened up. That's exactly how it looked. Back off the line. Then they started sending some blitzes.
It really did. Antoine, next up is the Indianapolis coach, man. Did you get a chance for this dude, that dude?
I didn't, but I can still speak on it. I think our our dudes, meaning our edge rushers, right? Was it Weaver, Landry, whoever else fits that description, Murphy? They're going to have to make sure that they stay disciplined when the rest of the group is rushing the quarterback. That way, I don't think Anthony Richardson can beat us alone with his arm. It's going to take his legs as well. And if we contain that, then that would go a long way for us winning the game.
All right, I like that. Stole my thunder.
Oh, I did. Oh shit, my bad.
That's pretty good. So I'll go off of it by saying yeah. You know, this dude, Danico Autry, this dude, Jeffrey Simmons, this dude, Al Shair, this dude, Gibbons, this dude, Byard, this dude, Hooker. Those dudes are going to have to come after that dude, Anthony Richardson, because one thing that Richardson has shown so far is, you know, welcome to the NFL, bro. This is football on Sunday, not on Saturday. As a whole different, but you know, as a coach and watching kids develop in high school, I used to tell them, what you're looking for is to translate your game from Friday to Saturday. Some parents would ask me, is there a big difference? A big difference. I said, it's a whole nother world to go from playing high school football on Friday to college football on Saturday. That's an even bigger jump when you try to go from college to pros. And right now, that dude, Anthony Richardson, is finding out, yo, this ain't Saturday I'm playing on no more. It's Sunday. These boys are bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. I can't take advantage with my leg, with my athletic ability. I can't seem to find a way. So these dudes that I mentioned are going to have to make it hot for that dude. Antoine, you want to add to that?
No, but we can't sleep on him because he's balling, though. He's balling. He's balling. It's just like I said, and there's no disrespect to him when I say I don't think he can beat us with his arm. It's I just don't believe in their receiver core right now, right? So I think the only way we lose to them is we let him run amok. That's
good point.
It sounds like you're trying not that missed something, Hudson. You're trying not to speak something into existence because there's a particular fear you've discussed with me many, many times regarding.
Maybe I just don't remember.
Regarding the Titans and rookie quarterbacks.
Oh, we always lose. You know what? I forgot. We do lose to rookie quarterbacks. But hey, that stops now. That stops this week. We will not lose to the rookie or the backup quarterback like we always do.
That's me knocking on wood over here.
Yeah, I forgot. We had the discussion. It was early in the week, y'all. We did.
And by the way, that dude, Anthony Richardson, better keep paying attention to that other dude, Gardner Minshew, because, you know, hey, Minshew might sit his ass down. He might sit his ass down. So, this dude, that dude.
This dude, that dude. There's a book out there. I think it's called The Curious Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We already touched on him earlier today.
Well,
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Tanny Hyde or Dr. Jekyll. I'm like, which one is it going to be? Tannehill. What are you going to do on the road against the Colts? Are you going to show up? Are you going to show up like you showed up on the last two road games? Or are you going to put something together on the road, Tannehill? You are this dude and that dude because you seem to have schizophrenia, split personalities. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Ever since I ain't trying to down anybody or knock on anybody with mental health issues, and I'm sorry if anybody has taken offense, but I'm just telling you what it looks like to me that Tannehill ain't been the same since the Bengals game when he threw them 3 interceptions, and then he talked about it after the season that he had to go dark mode almost Aaron Rodgers like get away from everything and go get some therapy or whatever. And it's kind of been a Jekyll and Hyde of Tannehill ever since. And this season, so far, I know we're only 4 games in. Sky is not falling. Titans are 2-2 in the division. But are you going to be? Can you do something on the road? Can you show some consistency? Can you put it together like he talked about in his own words? Can you do it week in and week out? Can you put a pair of games together back to back? And I'm not really even talking about the type of game you had yesterday, because you're Jekyll and Mr. Hiding in the same game. You're Jekyll and we've seen you Jekyll and Hyde in the same fucking quarter. Like if you're a starting NFL quarterback in this league, you're making the type of money that you are, we need to show some fucking consistency. And I'm tired of trying to guess which dude, this dude or that dude, I'm going to see out there on the fucking field every week quarterbacking my team. At least I know if you put one of them young guys in, he's young. This is going to happen. You've been in the league for over a fucking decade. I'm just saying, shit or get off the pot.
That's it. I wouldn't imagine that you have any kind of rant this week.
Well, not with the way they played, I guess. Like, what you ran on? The Heat? The cheerleaders? I don't know. I'm just making up something. Like.
I'm a rant on. You know what? I do got a rant. I got a rant. Fuck the goddamn Portland Trailblazers. All right, sorry. That's my rant. I'm still salty about the Dame Lillard trade not coming to my Heat. So I know this is Everything Titan show, but you wanted something. I don't have a lot to be angry about. I gave you what I had when I just got through talking about Tannehill right then. His Jekyll and Hyde. Right now, that's the only thing that's pissing me off is his Jekyll and Hyde routine. And Andre Dillard.
So that brings us to final thoughts. Antoine, give me your final thoughts for the evening.
Yeah, my final thoughts, and it's kind of an extension of what Zoe was saying about Tannehill. I think this team is going to go as he plays. Depends on which Tannehill shows up. And I say that because, our defense, I believe we have or will have a top 5 or could have a top 5 defense in this league, but they can't if they're always on the field, right? If we're 3 and out, and our defense is on the field, they're going to wear down. So this game will go how, depending on which Tannehill shows up. If we can get some first downs and give our defense a breather, then the Titans win it easily, in my opinion.
So, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm still stuck on the past at the moment. So, final thoughts is last drives for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their whole drives for the Cincinnati Bengals, all 9. Field goal, punt, end of half, fumble, punt, turnover on downs. That shit's ugly. And that Titans defense was ugly. Yeah, let's tighten up. I want to see that defense. I want to see that defense harass Anthony Richardson. I want to see him confused out there. I want to see Bowen throw some switch ups, some change ups, some fastballs at him, some disguise coverages. Bring something exotic, something that don't even let them get comfortable. Just have them like a deer in headlights. That's what I want to see.
Well, my final thoughts on you can't keep playing football like this. Can't play up 1 week, down 1 week, up 1 week, down 1 week. You can't keep on. You got to find some kind of consistency. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season. And it's going to be a long season 30 days from now when we're sitting here and the Titans are still at 500 and doing the same thing. And we're still talking shit about Ryan Tannehill, and we're still wondering why the hell we're on this show and not the coaching staff that makes the decisions about Tyjae Spears getting. I mean, you think about this. He had like 80 total yards yesterday, and he wasn't even a part of the plan. He wasn't even part of the plan and had 80 yards of offense. I mean, so it's like, in special teams. Yeah, he had 40 rushing, 18.
I think he was part of the plan. Just
Yeah, well, you know what I'm trying to say. Make him a part of the fucking plan, not a part-time lover. Give him some real play. So you gotta come up with some kind of. You got to figure out a way to be consistent. The team that came out in the second quarter, like, Zoe said it real good, was reminiscent of your boy, what's Arthur Smith, man. It's like, damn, I'm just watching this play call in there. You can't have that all the time, but you got to find some kind of consistency. Otherwise,
so basically, what you're saying is you want some Phil Collins, not no Stevie Wonder. You want some all night long. You don't want no part-time level. You want it all night long.
Right.
I got it.
Yeah. They gotta bring it hard, bring it fast. That's all. Anyway, this is that's a wrap up. This is Everything Titans, the Tennessee Titans weekly show here on NGSC Sports, of course, where we never stop. We, of course, were talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Tennessee Titans' big win over the Cincinnati Bengals. And we'll come back next week. We'll obviously talk what happened with the Colts. And, yeah, always remember. What do you want them to remember, Zoe?
Tighten up.
Henry, he's going to pass it. Touchdown. Touchdown, Titans. There are no flags on the field. Tennessee has pulled a miracle. And that's going to be picked off at the 24 by Myers for the touchdown.
Yeah, that's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question. Just continue to stay consistent and focus on improvement.
All right, folks. We'll be back next week with Everything Titans. I'll be back Thursday with Attack on the Politicals. Next Monday with baseball. Next Sunday with baseball. Next Monday night, right back here, folks. So appreciate y'all. Peace.